From KDA to True Damage to Headhunter, Akali has 14 different skins that you can equip when you want to play the Rogue Assassin, but the question is, which of them is the best? What's up, you knuckleheads? It's Josh here, and today we are back with another champion skin tier list, where I go through every single skin for one champion and break down which skins are must-haves, good to own, and ones you should just buy if they're on discount. These are going to be graded based on cost, design and aesthetic, animations and effects, and just overall whether the theme of the skin line fits with this champion.
Restraint's not really my thing.
Now, Akali actually got lucky. On her release, she actually got 2 release skins, the first being Stinger Akali. It was a pretty basic skin, but there was hope that after the rework, maybe the skin would get an upgrade, and unfortunately, it did not. It's very generic. The theme behind the skin is really unclear. There's no unique effects or animations. It's just kind of your bog standard. If you've only got 520 RP laying around and you want an Akali skin, this would be the ticket.
If you look dangerous, you better be dangerous.
Or it normally would be if it wasn't for our next skin, which is why this one is going right now in the only if you've got spare orange essence. I don't even think it's worth spending the small amount of RP. The main reason for that is the other release skin that Akali got in May 2010, which is Infernal Akali. Again, another 520 RP skin. This is actually, in my opinion, better than some 975 and even 1350 RP skins. I mean, it's pretty basic. Yeah, it doesn't add any new animations, but the effects on her abilities are actually pretty good for a skin that's only going to cost you 520 RP. For a skin of this quality, I'm gonna say that this is definitely the first skin that I would say is a must-own for Akali mains, just because of how cheap it is. This is the skin that probably most people should be buying when they first start playing Akali, and it's gonna be worth it. You're gonna probably keep playing with this skin for a long, long time.
They can't stop me. I mean, they can try.
But Riot wasn't done. In 2010, Akali actually got a third skin to coincide with the World Cup that year, All-Star Akali. Now, unlike the first 2 skins, All-Star Akali is 975 RP. It was released in June 2010. And there's one other distinction from the other 2. What is it? Oh yeah, it's that it sucks. Like seriously, this skin's hot garbage. There's no new unique effects or animations on her abilities or recall, and that champion model is butt ugly compared to the other 2. For all of that, plus the fact that it costs more than the first 2 skins she got, if you got gifted this skin is the only real reason you should have it in the collection.
They can't stop me. I mean, they can try.
Nurse Akali. It was released back in January 2011, and just like all of her other old skins, it was updated when Akali was reworked back in 2018. But if you're hoping the rework puts some more energy into Akali's older skins, that's unfortunately not the case. Yes, it looks better than it did with her original champion model, and the design is a little bit better, but it's still just a very basic skin for Akali. There's not a lot of unique effects or animations on her. It's a pretty ho-hum and basic skin. The only saving grace for it is that the champion model does look cool, and the fantasy/aesthetic of Akali being a nurse is kind of cool. However, for 975 RP, I think you want a little bit more than a just fine champion model. For that reason, I gotta put it in the if you've got spare orange essence tier. This really isn't worth spending RP on, but if you've got the spare orange essence and you need to round out the collection, it's worth spending some orange essence on.
Don't waste the anger. Channel it.
Blood Moon Akali was released in 2011 as well, just a few months after Nurse Akali. I guess they realized that they had forgot to give her a release skin. Blood Moon Akali is also 975 RP, but unlike Nurse Akali, after the rework, this skin really looks quite good. It's anything but basics with some good animations. The abilities look really cool in that crimson red. The design and fantasy are really on point for Akali. It makes sense that she would be in this skin line, and it just looks good on her. All the effects and animations are top notch. I gotta say, for 975, this is a pretty good skin for cheap. I'm gonna say, if you're an Akali main, you probably own this skin. It's one of her better, cheaper options, and honestly, it's kind of surprising in a very good way that one of her older skins still holds up and is worth a purchase a decade later.
That's right. Payback hits hard.
Silverfang Akali was also released in 2011, meaning that Akali got 3 skins in her second year after release. Also coming in at 975 RP, the skin was going to inevitably draw comparisons to Blood Moon and Nurse Akali. And in my opinion, Silverfang Akali is the baby bear of these skins, right in the middle. Now on the one hand, it does kind of fall into the same sort of issues that Nurse Akali did, as I don't think the effects and animations on the skin are all that great. However, there is a little bit of an upgrade to the effects and animations. Also, I really like the champion model. It's really cool and unique, and the design really just fits Akali. As a result, this skin's going into the buy if it's on sale tier. I think it's worth spending RP on, but it's not one to prioritize.
We're gonna do this my way. Quick and deadly.
It would be 4 years before Akali got another skin, and that would end up being Headhunter Akali, which was released in March 2015. And unfortunately, in my opinion, this skin was not worth the wait. Now on the plus side, the skin design is very different and the neon pink color does look great on Akali. That neon pink on her abilities does look really cool. The problem that I have is that this skin is 1350 RP as opposed to the 975 RP of the 3 skins we just discussed. And if I'm being honest, I don't think this skin is a substantial update over something like Blood Moon Akali. And as we'll soon get into, there are some other 1350 RP skins that are way better than this and do the futuristic cyberpunk theme a lot better than Headhunter. As a result, this skin is going in the got gifted tier. To me, it's really not worth spending RP on. It's not even worth spending Orange Essence on unless you need to complete your Akali skin collection. Although it might be flashy, it's better to save your RP.
I'll make this look like magic.
And if you were an Akali main who was desperately waiting for another skin worth your while, unfortunately you were probably kept waiting a little bit longer, as in 2016, Sashimi Akali came out as part of the cook/chef skin line. I'm a bit biased that I don't think that the skin line is any good at all. Like Baker Pantheon is the only skin that I think is even remotely funny or creative, and Sashimi Akali is the most basic of basic skins. It has no unique effects or animations. It's really just that her champion model looks like a delivery girl, which is I guess kind of cool, and it fits with her like taunt when she's eating ramen. The only thing not keeping this from the dregs of the tier list is the fact that it is cheap. It's 750 RP, so that's why I'm going to put it in the buy if it's on sale. But I do gotta say, it is very borderline in my mind whether this is worth spending RP on or not.
Well, you aren't much of a challenge.
But 2 years later, the wait for Akali mains finally paid off as KDA Akali dropped in November of 2018. For only 1350 RP, Akali mains got some of the best animations and effects on her abilities, an incredible recall animation, and her sporting a dope look on the Rift and in the music video. This is probably Akali's best skin, or one of her top skins, and it's going in the must-own tier. Absolutely a must-own for Akali mains.
The rules hold you back. Leave them for someone who needs them.
1 year later, Project Akali dropped in August 2019, an absolutely incredible skin in its own right. The red crimson hue, it looked good in Blood Moon, but it looks even better in Project. The effects and animations are cranked up to 11 compared to Blood Moon. I know she's a bit overloaded with the cyberpunk futuristic type skins, but in my opinion, Project is the best. And again, for 1350 RP, she fits into the aesthetic of the Project world so well. It just makes perfect sense. She's a natural fit. This is also a must-own skin if you're a fan of Project or a fan of Akali.
I love what I do. My enemies won't.
But then later that year, another musical number dropped for Akali with True Damage Akali. And while maybe it was a bit too ambitious to try and top KDA Akali, True Damage holds up pretty well. While most of Akali's best skins are very bright and colorful, this one uses more dark tones but still highly saturated. They look absolutely gorgeous. The recall animation is maybe one of her best. The only reason this is not going in the must-own skin is just because I don't like the model. I think it's just a little underwhelming compared to some of her better skins, but if you can overlook that, this is a must-own. For me, it's going in the real mains own this skin. It's still absolutely fantastic and worth the price you're paying for it.
Mark acquired and eliminated.
And then, just when I said how hard it was going to be to top KDA Akali, KDA All Out Akali comes out in October 2020 and somehow manages to outdo the original. I'm serious, with the new sound cues and the beautiful effects, especially on like her smoke and her Kema, this is one of the rare sequels that outdoes the original. Now, I don't consider KDA All Out to be sort of like the Prestige Edition because it is its own separate skin, and just like its older sister, I'm saying that this one's a must-own if you're an Akali main. Somehow, both KDA skins are easily worth what they're charging, and that's not that much at 1350 RP.
That is just another reason for you to die.
Crime City Nightmare, one of the fan-voted skin lines, dropped in August 2021, and Akali was among them. And it was nice to see Akali in a skin line that wasn't pure pop star rapper or cyberpunk futuristic. And I gotta say, while I'm not the biggest fan of the Crime City Nightmare skin line overall, this skin does work. To me, they did with this skin what Headhunter was trying to do with Akali, and just did it better. Pink and purple hues look absolutely gorgeous on her. The effects and animations are on point, especially I love the animation when she summons her smoke cloud. The skin model itself isn't all that great, and I don't think the recall animation is that much to write home about, but it still does everything that you would want it to do for 1350 RP, which is why it goes in the real main-owned skin tier.
It's not about the killing. It's about who's doing the dying.
Last but not least, Akali joined the Star Guardian universe in July 2022, getting her very first 1820 RP skin in the process. Considering how many good skins Star Guardian Akali had to go against, I really needed this to blow my mind if I wanted to put it in the real mains own or must own tiers, and unfortunately to me, it didn't quite hit the mark. First of all, I don't love Akali in the Star Guardian universe. Like, She kind of fits, but she's not one of my top choices. I feel like that universe is kind of oversaturated as is. But second, even though the skin is clearly much better and has a lot more effort going into it than her other skins, there's just so many other really good skins that are cheaper. The 1820 RP price tag just isn't justified in my opinion. There's so many other options that you could choose from. That being said, this is still a really good skin, so it's not going to drop too far down in the tier list. If it's on sale, it's worth a buy in my opinion, but you shouldn't be paying full price for this skin, especially with the other options available to you. But it is still a very good skin. But what do you think? What's your favorite Akali skin? And which skin would you put higher or lower on this tier list? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, Knuckleheads, peace out.